Got to encourage you really quick to subscribe and join our Golden Gang, Who Dat Nation. We put out Saints shows every single day, including on the weekends. We also provide analysis around the black and gold, news, rumors, and everything coming from a Saints fan for Saints fans. We also have awesome live shows every single week. Anytime there's breaking news, we also go live. And throughout the season, we have watch parties in the regular season, the preseason, and hopefully the postseason. And of course, you get the long form, the short form content, everything in between, and you can join the best community around the New Orleans Saints on YouTube. So subscribe to Saints Now for free. Let's dive into it. Fresh trade rumors coming from Jeremy Fowler. He has a new report regarding a Joe Milton trade. So in today's show, I'm going to dive into that, give my take, give my thoughts, because I know a lot of Saints fans are very, very opinionated when it comes to the quarterback position and possibly even trading for Joe Milton. And then later, we're going to take a look at an absolutely insane trade idea from my friend, the host of Patriots Today, Allie Barefoot, host here at Chat Sports. Joe Milton trade rumors, a trade idea from Allie Barefoot. So we're going to dive into that. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Saints Now by Chat Sports. Hope you guys are ready for the show. So like I said, Jeremy Fowler put out a new report around a potential trade for quarterback Joe Milton. As we all know, the Patriots have added to their quarterback room, obviously drafting Drake May, but then they also added to it in free agency as well. So Jeremy Fowler, this is the new report from him. Joe Milton has trade interests. The Patriots are exploring a trade. I'm told there are several teams interested. One team to potentially watch out for is the Dallas Cowboys because they're looking for a good backup, a young backup with upside, and they may not get it in the draft. Maybe they get it in a trade. Now, I will say this. If the New Orleans Saints want to go and get Joe Milton, you might have to compete with the Dallas Cowboys. You might have to compete with a handful of different teams out there. But I will say this, that is the new report. Maybe the Saints lose out on Joe Milton to Dallas. They've already traded for Trey Lance and got a backup quarterback that they never really used. So maybe they do that again with Joe Milton. I will say in regards for the New Orleans Saints, I think that this is a really good idea for the Saints to at least explore. I'm not going to say go and do it, but at least explore it because if anything, we do know Kellen Moore has been known to play into the strengths of his roster. That is coming from all of the coaches he's worked with, all of the players he's worked with, players that have moved from Philadelphia to New Orleans, like Jack Stoll, following Kellen Moore. I just think that with him, that is the common theme we've heard, is that he can play into the strengths of his roster. Before this time in Philadelphia, he was considered a pass-happy guy, and then, you move to Philly, you have Saquon Barkley and an incredible offensive line. That team was a run-first offense through and through. Now, credit where it's due to Joe Milton. There is concerns in terms of his accuracy, in terms of his consistency, and all of those things are very fair and very valid because of the tape that we saw at Tennessee. However, in the limited NFL tape we've seen, he played against the Buffalo Bills in Week 18, and he had a pretty solid showing. And, I will say Drake May started that game, but Joe Milton took all of the rest of the snaps offensively. He had one carry for a touchdown. It was 16-yard touchdown, pretty nice little run. 22 of 29, 241 passing yards and a touchdown through the air as well. And, he did have some good moments, and he did look solid on a pretty bad team. But also context matters. The Bills were sitting most of their starters because they had already locked in a playoff spot, and that was a meaningless game. So, is Joe Milton truly a good quarterback, or was he just in a really good spot against a team that really didn't care and, they were playing a bunch of their backups? I think that there is something to say about that, but I also don't want to take away from how good he looked against Buffalo. And, the development was clearly a little bit there, and maybe with Kellen Moore and maybe with the Saints offense, he can actually be unlocked a little bit more. He isn't a huge running threat, but he can use his legs. He has some mobility, and maybe Kellen Moore can utilize that and play into those strengths and turn him into a good quarterback. We'll have to see. So how interested are you in a Joe Milton trade? I've seen a lot of opinions on this, whether it's the YouTube comment section, my comments in my social media pages on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I just think that there is a very good conversation to be had about Joe Milton. Do I want to do it? I mean, maybe for the right price, but I also can understand why you wouldn't want to make this trade. So let me know in the comment section, how interested are you? 1 meaning not at all interested, 100 meaning you need Joe Milton in the black and gold. Now coming up, We're going to talk about Chris Olave possibly being traded for Joe Milton. Remember we talked about Allie Barefoot? We're going to get to her trade idea. It's absolutely insane. But before we do, got to give a big-time shout-out to today's presenting sponsor. That is Factor Meals. And I can tell you right now, I've been feeling so much better ever since I got on Factor Meals. They taste great, and they take just a few minutes to get ready. And if you're ready to optimize your nutrition this year, Factor is the place to do it. They have chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in just a few minutes. So you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Get started at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 off and use code SaintsChat50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfast, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons to customize your meal plan. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. I absolutely love Factor because my life is so dang busy and I'm always on the move. So rather than having to get some fast food, drive through somewhere and get some cheeseburgers and french fries, I just pop one of my Factor meals into a microwave and have a delicious, nutritious meal in just a few minutes. I'm actually going out of town this weekend to Indiana with Maddie, and I can tell you we're going to be eating good because we're bringing some Factor meals on the road. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 off and use code SaintsChat50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code SaintsChat50 off at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. All of that information is in the comments and description of this video. Thank you so much, Factor, for sponsoring, and we're so glad to have you back. Now, let me just start off here. I don't want to trade Chris Olave. I'm going to say that again because I know some of you are already in the comment section saying, why does this guy keep wanting to trade Chris Olave? Enough for saying you want to trade him. He's just wants to clickbait. It's blah, 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 blah. I read the comments. I know what you guys say. Trust me, I don't want to trade Chris Olave away. And if you think I do, I'm going to just go ahead and say you don't watch the show. Now, there's so many reasons why I love Chris Olave, and I've narrowed it down to these 8. I mean, the ball tracking skills is absolutely phenomenal. He is a very good route runner. He's shifty through and through. And on top of that, he's really good at finding that open space and creating plays with his hands and with his impressive body control. And not to mention, I think the speed element of his game is a little bit underrated. We all know he's a fast wide receiver, but I don't think we talk about it enough because of how quick Rashid Shaheed is. Also, the fact that he is a proven 1,000-yard receiver. When he's healthy, when he can play games, he will get you production. And the best part about him, maybe it's to a fault, but he will sacrifice himself for the play. And, you know, that has led to some injuries. That has led to some problems. However, I got to say the guy's a gamer, and he is going to come down with the ball if he is able to. So I love Chris Olave for so many damn reasons. This is why this trade idea absolutely fires me up. Barefoot, Allie Barefoot, this is her trade idea from Patriots Today. She posted it on the channel. You can go check it out and see what her thoughts are and her defense on it. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. I think this is a terrible trade. The pick swap, whatever, but if you're going to swap the players, that is not at all even close to equivalent value or even at all. Like, this is just a really bad trade if you ask me. You know, I just got to say this, Allie, dear Allie, dear Barefoot, girl, I love you. You're one of my girlfriend's best friends. We're homies. Your boyfriend and I are absolutely homies too. But with all due respect, this might be the dumbest idea I've ever seen. And I love you, Barefoot. I don't mean to throw you shade, but I could not even begin to fathom how that trade idea makes any sense for the New Orleans Saints. They're not going to move off of Chris Olave. And if they did want to bring in Joe Milton, you're going to have to give up a much bigger haul to get Chris Olave in return. And, you know, the Saints have made it clear, Ross Jackson pointing this out, that they have wanted to keep Chris Olave. Now, the way that they've been operating has proven that. And they also want to add to the offense around him. It's not a matter of, oh, let's move off of Chris Olave because he has good trade value. Like, to be totally honest, I think that trading away a proven wide receiver that's young, that's talented, especially when you're the New Orleans Saints and you have a need at wide receiver, that is a terrible, stupid, no good decision. And to be totally honest, if the Saints let Chris Olave walk out, I think they'll be paying that price, especially right now with the lack of wide receiver depth. So let's go back to the trade idea. What do you guys think? Would you do it? Yes or no? Type accept or decline in the comment section. If you would accept it for a better price, let me know what it would entail. I mean, like, honestly, if you threw in a second-round pick, maybe I would consider it. Maybe I would tease the idea of it. But to be totally honest, if this is the call that I'm getting, I'm hanging that phone up quicker than if my ex-girlfriend was calling. Alrighty, so if you guys want to get more social media content around the New Orleans Saints, I post on all 3 major platforms, X, Instagram, and TikTok. So feel free to hit your boy up. I actually talked about the Chris Olave trade rumors before we filmed this video. So if you want to see what we get a little sneak peek on and what we're going to talk about throughout the day, hit your boy up on social media. And also feel free to send me a DM. I love chopping it up with the Who Dat Nation. Y'all stay Golden Saints fans. We will see you next time.